Today's SVG news is all about bidding farewell to old friends and meeting new acquaintances, like this Resident Evil newcomer who puts the hell in hello. Although, to be honest, we'd rather be saying,
"Oh, goodbye."
Resident Evil Village is fast approaching, and fans are poring over every detail of Capcom's recent Resident Evil Showcase event. However, not every reaction to the new game has been one of excitement. In between trying to figure out the height of the game's vampire lady and dodging leaked boss fights, some fans have taken issue with the design of one of the game's new characters, the Duke. The Duke was introduced to audiences during the Resident Evil Showcase, and there's no tactful way to say this, he's a really big guy, and his size is seemingly treated as a joke. The Duke takes the place of the merchant character seen in Resident Evil 4.
Got something that might interest you.
However, rather than being portrayed as a svelte, hooded figure like in that game, the Duke is first seen when he opens up his cart of goods and comes spilling out of the back, stomach first. It's a bizarre sight, and some people have seen this moment as an example of fat phobia in video games. Dr. Todd Harper, a gaming and media scholar at University of Baltimore, took the developers to task for the Duke's introductory scene in particular. In a reaction to last week's Resident Evil Showcase stream, Harper tweeted, "The Duke literally creaks open the door of this wagon and the first thing to emerge is his belly, which of course erupts out from a shirt jacket that don't fit. We see his fatness before we even see this as a person with a face or a voice."
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Winters.
How do you know my name?
Anyone who is anyone has heard of the likes of you.
In the Resident Evil Showcase, Capcom explained that the director of Resident Evil 8, Morimasa Sato, wanted the Duke to have a, quote, unique look. However, Dr. Harper isn't buying that. As he pointed out in his Twitter thread, the Duke seems to be yet another example of a trope that audiences and gamers have seen many times before. Harper lamented the series' depiction of a greedy character being a fat caricature.
I made a CJ, I'm a success! I can't be touched!
Harper is not alone in his frustration. Several commenters sounded off on the subject of the Duke. One Twitter user wrote that they felt exasperated upon seeing the character. Another person said that the Duke's design was, quote, uninspired and insulting. Of course, some fans were actually in favor of the character design, with one person calling it, quote, campy and creepy. It remains to be seen if the rest of Resident Evil Village will portray the character as a joke in this way, but it's clear that the Duke has struck a chord with audiences. Resident Evil Village will be released on May 7th, 2021. The longtime voice of one of gaming's most beloved icons just announced some news that might make gamers drop their chili dogs. Voice actor Roger Craig Smith said he'd be moving on to new zones in a tweet on Thursday morning. You might know Smith from this groundbreaking performance.
Move along, interloper. Whatever sort of spy or counter-agent you are, I'm not about to fall for your tricks.
Oh, and he also voiced Sonic the Hedgehog for 10 years, so there's that. Along with a picture of a broken blue heart, he tweeted, "Welp, 10 years was an amazing run. Onward to new zones. Much love to the fans who have been so kind. It's been an honor." We're not crying, you're crying.
Coming in for a hard landing, Tails. You got me covered?
Roger.
Who's Roger? He's talking to me. Thanks, buddy.
Sega hasn't announced anything official about the voice actor's departure yet, but it seems as though something is in the works that doesn't involve Smith in the role. Smith's fans and former collaborators got on Twitter to wish him all the best. In a retweet of Smith's departure post, Alan Denton, a writer for the animated series Sonic Boom, said, "Roger, you were an amazing Sonic, but more important, you're a generous talent and a good friend. I do not envy the next voice actor who has to fill these cargo shorts, shoes."
Aw, you guys.
Smith took over the role of Sonic in 2010 with the release of Sonic Freeriders, an Xbox 360 racing game powered by the Kinect, and has voiced the character in several different titles over the last decade. His website boasts that he is a man quite literally of 1,000 voices. Smith is credited with more than 170 voices for Cartoon Network's regular show and has performed for a variety of other animated series and children's shows. Some of his other video game roles include Ezio Auditore from Assassin's Creed, Batman in Batman Arkham Origins, and Arkham Origins Blackgate, and Chris Redfield from the Resident Evil series.
Jill, come on! It's me, Chris! Snap out of it!
Although he performed as Sonic in Wreck-It Ralph and Ralph Breaks the Internet, it's worth reminding fans of the blue blur that Smith did not voice Sonic in the 2020 live-action film Sonic the Hedgehog, despite being the longest-running voice actor for the character. Sonic's history of English-speaking voice actors also includes Jason Griffith, who was Smith's predecessor, Ryan Drummond, and Jaleel White. Thus far, there's no word on who might be replacing Smith.